What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of the BK Sports Podcast. These are your two hosts, Aaron Fuller.
And Tony Fuller.
You know what I'm saying? We're just going to get right into it, talking about this upcoming, not just upcoming, but the draft that just passed. It was a good draft. There's a lot of good talent that came off the board, a lot of good talent that went undrafted as well. Right. So, we're going to get right into it.
As we said, there was a lot of trades in this draft. So it's kind of unpredictable what was going to happen. It caught you off guard.
A lot of the picks that we mocked did not go as they were supposed to go. It was all over the place.
I feel like I got more right, but we didn't count it. But I feel like I got more right because we watching together. I was like, oh, I got that one. I got that one.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. But it's all good, That's what happens every year. It happens the same way.
Right. I don't think there's anybody that can pick a perfect draft.
No, it's like the March Madness bracket. You can't get it right.
Right. Nobody can get it right. I don't remember last time somebody got March Madness right.
Yeah. I probably don't know the last time somebody got an NFL draft right.
It's probably never been somebody got every pick on the first round of draft. All right, so we're going to tell you the teams did the best in the draft, top 3. And I'm going to start it off. My first one, really, for mine, I'm not going to go 1, 2, or 3. Just my 3 top. Mm-hmm. My 3 that I think I did good.
Okay.
So my first one is kind of obvious. Everybody loves the Bears, their draft, because obviously they went up to get their signal caller, one of the top, at least top 3 quarterbacks in this draft. Definitely top 10 player, and he got him in at number 11. Mm-hmm. He kind of fell a little bit.
Yep.
They had to go jump up. This team, nobody really projected this team to jump up and go get this player. Or not this player. Everybody knows Justin Fields. And then the second pick, they got protection for Justin Fields. And Tevin Jenkins, who I think could have went first round. He was kind of a sleeper to go first round, be a first round talent. The third pick, it was kind of questionable because they had they picked another offensive tackle, but this offensive tackle he can move into the guard a little bit, so if they decide to put him inside, they can. Mm-hmm. And then they picked Khalil Herbert, who's a sleeper running back from Virginia Tech, who I like. And that's their 6th round pick. Mm. Well, there's another 6th round pick that happened 4 picks later. They got Daz Newsome in the 6th round. Well, I easily think he could have went second day.
Could have went first day.
I think that's a stretch.
He could have won the first day. You can make a case for it.
You said what?
You can make a case for it.
I think his counterpart caused him to slide. If he was to go first day, I think what's his name? De'Ami Brown. I think De'Ami Brown caused him to get overshadowed. And then in the 7th round, they got an underrated D tackle that I feel like with some development, he can be a decent player in the NFL.
I'm gonna say the same thing. The person I think did the best, who won their draft, at least the first round, was the Bears, because a lot of people didn't expect them to jump up and get their quarterback of the future, but they did. Made trades, came up and got who they needed, and I don't know why they disrespected Justin Fields so much. Like, he is not a baller, but they're gonna pay. They're gonna pay.
I think he slipped because there was people coming out that said he's the last one in, first one out mentality. Yeah. So I don't. That's not really don't really bode well for a lot of owners for him to be the quarterback and be the last one in, first one out.
Yeah, I heard that too.
And people also say he stared down his targets, but I don't really think
Nah. And all this stuff that can be fixed. That heart, you can't really fix that heart.
Nah, that can't be fixed.
But you know what I'm saying? I think he'll be okay. But you can't just let him keep sliding with as much as talent as he has. You can't just
Yeah.
keep sliding. So it was a smart pick for them to jump up and get him. And it's like you said, to the next round come in and get Tevin Jenkins. Tevin Jenkins is definitely a great option. I thought he was going to go. He did come in late. I didn't hear about him until closer to the draft. But out of Oklahoma State, he was a great pickup. Like you said, Khalil Herbert. A lot of picks after that, you know, had me feeling good about their draft. Starting with Justin Fields. I think that pick, those first two picks alone, won them their draft. So anybody who they really pick after that, I feel
It's
like it's
icing on the cake.
icing on the cake. Yeah, you got your two main staples. I feel like they won that.
Right, because those are two most important positions on the team.
Exactly, left tackle and quarterback.
The
Yep.
quarterback and the person to protect the quarterback.
Right. Yep.
All right, so with my second, I'm gonna go with the Carolina Panthers. With the first pick, they got CB1B. Yeah, from depending on who you're talking to, either JC Horn can go be the best corner, or Pastor Chan could go be the second quarter. But it's either them, it's one of them, 1 and 2. So they picked Horn first, so they like Horn better than they like Sertan. And then with the second pick, they got Terrence Marshall Jr., who I think could be a good X for them. With the third round pick, they got Brady Christensen, who can be a good tackle for the future. And then they don't really have any for their next pick in the third round. They don't really have anybody at the tight end position. So they got Tommy Trouble from Notre Dame, who I think can be good. All the people, I think all the people they pick, I think be good. Chuba Hubbard can be good. Is definitely slept on because 2019 he had a great year. I don't know what happened 2020. Maybe because of the pandemic, maybe because of teammates, some people opt out. I don't know what happened. But the talent is definitely there. He would definitely if he would have went year before, he'd have won the second round. Easily.
Right. Yeah, he a beast.
Easily second round.
Yeah, he was up there with what's the guy from the Colts?
Taylor.
Yeah, he was up there with Taylor. Them two were the best running backs in nation last year.
Right. If you just look at stats, obviously it's more than stats.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just look at stats, that boy balled.
Yeah, he was out of Oklahoma State, so it's not like he had a whole lot of talent around him.
Mm-hmm.
He was still balling.
For their fifth pick, they got Davion Nixon, who when I was looking at the draft and I see people just going off, it was always one person that slipped. I know me and you was talking, and every time somebody pick or a few picks go by, I show you like, bro, this guy's still on there. They got him picked being the number one D tackle. He like it's the fifth round, and he's still on the board. So that's who they got. So he could be valuable. The next two picks, I don't really know per se, really know that much about, but their second sixth round pick, Shy Smith, who's a real shifty. I watched him in Senior Bowl. Yeah, boy, he can ball. He can definitely develop into being somebody good. And the questionable pick, they picked a long snapper. I don't know who picks the long snapper in the draft, but
seventh round,
sixth round. Still, regardless, I've never seen somebody pick a long snapper. But besides that pick, I think they did pretty good.
Okay. Well, my next good person that had a good draft was the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
I say that because every person on the board that I wanted seemed like they got, and they really addressed their defense. And they picked 26 overall, and they still was able to get good talent. Number one, we're going with Greg Newsome. Greg Newsome, tall guy, strong, can play man to man, can play off coverage, can play everything. One of the top 5 corners that I had coming into the draft.
I got him as 3 or 4.
Yeah, he's a baller. So I think they really, added something to their defense, and they got Denzel Ward on the other side, so they got a lot of young talent on their defense. So they really addressed their defense. I don't know if they really addressed the offense. Well, yeah, they did.
And on top of having Greedy on the other side, they got a Delpit on up top.
So yeah,
Who
they
got
got
hurt last
Greedy,
year.
Greedy, Newsome, Delpit, and Ward.
So
All that's their DBs.
I think that their DBs are pretty set.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about that. They got backup DBs.
They don't got to worry about that for a while. They backups are better than some people's starters.
Right. All right. And the next pick, I don't know why this man dropped so much.
Bruh, I don't know.
I don't know why he dropped so much, but I heard later in the rounds that he had injuries, and they said that he had discipline issues.
Yeah, I think they said medical and character issues that made him slide.
Issues. Yeah, he dropped all the way to 52, but that's Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, or AKA Joker, as we call him. That man is a beast, bro.
I really hope he used the name Joker. That's perfect name.
Yeah, that's hard. Even though they got a Joker at with the Ravens, the corner from the Ravens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. Man, they got a steal with this one. This might be one of the biggest steals of the second round, if not the whole draft, because this man is a monster, and you can put him anywhere. You can put him on the line. You can put him in middle linebacker, outside linebacker, safety. He can cover slots. He just so much. He got so much talent.
Hey, they're gonna change his name, change his position to ACH.
Right. Don't change the utility.
Right.
Yeah, he a beast, man. The next person was somebody I wanted, the Chargers to get. As y'all know, I'm a LA Chargers fan, and I think we needed speed at the wide receiver position, and they definitely addressed it with Anthony Schwartz. Anthony Schwartz is a world-class sprinter. He's fast. I think he needs to work on his route running a little more. That's why he dropped a little bit. But they said that boy running 4.2 something. So they got a lot of explosiveness added to their offense with that.
Isn't he short?
I think he might be. He can't be no shorter than Jalen Waddle.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be no shorter than Jalen Waddle. He might be 5'11", 6 feet.
How tall is Jalen?
I think like 5'10".
Oh, I thought he was a little taller than that. I thought he was 6 foot.
No, he might be listed 6 foot on some. You know how they do. Add a couple inches to him.
They boost all the time.
Right. They said he is the fastest player in the draft.
Mm.
So as long as he doesn't end up like John Ross III, he'll be good.
Oh well, he wasn't picked in the first round, so he should be good.
Bottom half of the second round, so
yeah,
he'll be good. Another person that I felt like was one of the best defensive tackles, even though it wasn't a very, very deep defensive tackle draft, Tommy Togiai. I thought it was Christian Barmore, Tommy Togiai were like the top defensive tackles, and they got him in the 4th round.
Yeah, so, him and Levi Onwuzurike.
Yeah, so those 3, they got him in the 4th round, so that's definitely a steal. So I feel like they really catered to their defense because the offense already stacked. They already got OBJ and Landry, and they got a good quarterback in Baker Mayfield. And they got running 2. Don't they got 2 running backs?
2 running backs. Yep.
Yep. They got Nick Chubb, and they got
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt, yeah. So they really addressed the defensive side of the ball. And they got Richard LeCounte. He's a good safety. I heard about him last year. I didn't really hear too much about him this year, but I feel like he has a lot of upside. He athletic, got good ball skills, can come up and tackle. So I feel like they got Steele and they got him in the 5th round as well. So it seems like they just kept coming up with good picks. So I got them listed as one of the best drafts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my third one, my third and final, I got the Denver Broncos. And with their first pick, they picked the other corner, who was number one. With these two corners that I just mentioned, I thought they were gonna go to the Cowboys and the Eagles. So I was kind of upset. But their talent speaks for itself. Um Pastor Tan, he can cover anybody. He played in the SEC, he played for Alabama, covered everybody's number one receiver. Even in practice, he covered all the receivers they got, including Devontae Smith. So my boy, he was built for this. And he got the pedigree to match it. Him and Horn got the pedigree to match it, but Horn, he learned it from a great receiver, but Surtain is learning from I won't say great. We're sons of a Dolphins fan, so obviously we watch Surtain all the time. But a really good corner, learning all the annex and everything from his dad. So both of them end up being really good corners in the league. Next they got Javonte Williams, who I think is the number 3 running back in the draft. Then they got Quinn Miners, who I think is I want the Eagles to get him, but we didn't need him after getting our second pick. But I think he's gonna be really it boy is a grown man, on the line out there.
Mm-hmm.
He don't let nobody back him down. Like that boy's a beast on that line, playing guard. And with their third or fourth pick, another 3rd round player, they got Baron Browning from Ohio State, who I think he's a good coverage linebacker who also has the he has skill, he has the athleticism to rush, and Von Miller is kind of getting older, so they're gonna need to find him replacement soon, or switch their defense, whatever they decide to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he can either rush or he can play the pass, and he can run stuff. So I feel like he's complete. Their next 2 picks, they picked 2 good safeties. I mean, obviously you have to play with 2 safeties on the field,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of question them picking 2 safeties back to back. But they're both 2 good corners, good safeties, really good safeties. Then with their next pick, they picked another corner who can be a good developmental corner. Then they picked 2 D ends, and they picked the Seth Williams at receiver for the last pick. So I feel like they really answered all their needs with very good talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, my next one may seem biased because I'm a Chargers fan, but I really feel like we had one of the best drafts of this year. Number one, of course, uh, we picked up Rashawn Slater. Rashawn Slater, I felt like was a top 10 pick. And he's one of the best, if arguably not the best, offensive tackle coming out this year. A lot of people had him ranked higher than Sewell. Some had him ranked second best. But this man is a dog. He's more athletic than Sewell. He ran a 4.88 at the combine or at his pro day. Sewell ran a 5.02, 5.02.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a 33-inch vert. This man is 300 pounds, if not a little less, and he has a 34-inch vertical. That's crazy. And of course, he's strong as I don't know what. Me and my brother were talking about how he front squats 500 pounds.
I hate front squats.
If you know front squats, if you do front squats, man, 500 pounds is a lot.
Right. Everybody knows what back squats is. You put the bar on the back. Front squats, you put the bar up here.
Yep.
Right on your. I hate it because it's on your neck.
Yep.
You going down with it. Like,
yep.
You got to be a beast to do that. 500.
500. I don't even want to put 500 up there, let alone try to squat it. But yeah, that's man. He's a dog, and everybody saw what he did against Chase Young. Chase Young is one of the best. Last year, he was the best pass rusher coming out, and this man shut him down. And Chase Young has long arms. Rashawn Slater doesn't have that long of arms. He's only 6'4". His arms aren't that long, but he shut him down. Chase Young couldn't do nothing. And that's consistently what we've seen over and over. Last year, he had over 300 snaps, and he allowed no sacks and only 5 quarterback pressures the whole year. This man is a dog, man. So, of course, I thought we were going to have to go up and get him, but we stayed. We kept our picks, kept everything, and he slid down to 13, and we picked him up. If you can ask my brother when we were watching the draft, when he slipped past 12, I already knew.
It's the same thing he did when y'all picked Derwin James.
Yeah, when we picked Derwin James and I seen him on the board, we didn't even need a safety at the time, but you can't let him fall past 17 and not pick him up. So I called him on the phone while I was in where was I? I was in Columbus, Ohio. I called him on the phone. I said, watch me pick Derwin James. And also me being a Florida State fan, that's the reason I like this next pick as well. Next pick, we got Asante Samuel. And I feel like this was a good pick because it was a player of need and it was also the best player available, as it was when we picked Rashawn Slater. And that next person is Asante Samuel Jr. from the Florida State University.
Don't do that.
Florida State University, the Seminoles. Man, this man is feisty. The only reason he fell to the second round is because he's a little short. He's not as big as the rest of the corners.
He's not 6'2", like Horn, PS2, and Newsom are.
Yeah.
And Caleb Farley.
Mm-hmm. So, but he's feisty. He has great ball skills. He has great man-to-man skills. He can play off. He can play off man. He can play zone. He can play everything. And you just see him, like you said with Patrick Surtain, he has that bloodline with his father playing for the Eagles.
His father got Super Bowls with the Patriots. Playing for
the Eagles and the Patriots. Yep. And his father was a dog, and he's a dog just like his father. So I feel like that's a great pick. My third pick had me a little skeptical because we had some other good wide receivers on the board like De'Ami Brown, but we picked up Josh Palmer from Tennessee. And if you look at his stats weren't that good because they said he was troubled by bad quarterback play. But they said once he went against the top corners in the draft, like J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain and all these other guys, and they said he really excelled against these players. So I feel like that was a good pick. Something Tom Telesco does is he goes and picks guys that nobody really knows about, but hidden gems. So I really honestly feel like Josh Palmer will be a hidden gem. The only thing I didn't really like about it is we needed a speed receiver, and he has the same speed as Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
Yeah, he's going to a
But
4.5.
yeah, 4.51. So I mean, he's a dog. I don't think we should have got him at that point. I think we could have waited a little bit, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, I like him too. Now that I know who he is, I didn't know who he is at first, but I've done my research and he's a good player. The next guy is also used to play for Florida State. Then he transferred to Georgia, which is our tight end. Um, I think it's Trey McKitty, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
And yeah, he has good athleticism. The reason we got him is because he can block. He's one of the best blockers, blocking tight ends coming out. And he also has the athleticism to stretch the field. He has good hands and everything like that. So I feel like he has a high ceiling if we can get in and mold him. And the fourth round pick is a guy named Chris Rumph. And I didn't really know about him either, but he's somebody who can add a lot to the edge on the other side of Joey Bosa. So I feel like he's long, he has a high motor. He just needs to bulk up a little bit. He's a little skinny.
Especially without losing Melvin Ingram.
Yeah, Melvin Ingram. Yeah, getting some youth on that side of the ball, something we really needed.
Mr.
And Melvin
Prone.
Ingram only played 8 games last year, and in those 8 games, he recorded no sacks. So it's definitely a big need.
Yeah, that's why Melvin Ingram still is on free agency.
Yep. Side note: Casey Hayward signing with the Raiders, that really hurt me. But we filled that spot with Asante Samuel, so I'm not too mad. And a couple other picks that I didn't really think too much about. But, I feel like we had a good draft. After I went back and researched, I feel like we did a really good job.
All right, so with that, we're going to segue into what I want to do this later, but since you said that, we're going to segue into how we feel about our team's drafts. Obviously, you just noted how you feel about your draft. So with the Eagles drafts, I think we did real good. I liked pretty much every pick that we had, especially with the first pick Devontae Smith. Another reason why I liked it because we jumped over the Giants to pick them. I've seen a lot of videos of Giants fans getting pissed, punching holes in walls and everything because we got them. I saw one video where a guy was yelling, "Why don't they just leave us alone?" That had me rolling. I literally watched that like 5 times. All right, so but I really wanted to get a corner, but obviously the 2 corners were already taken off the board, and we were up too high to pick Greg Newsome. So we got the best player available, which also a need because we need a receiver to play the X. So we picked Smith, the Slim Reaper, who I don't really think his size is gonna hurt him at all. Just like I said in the last pod, he's way too slippery for that. Another person who people have comped him to is Marvin Harrison, who is pretty much the same size as him, and he was just an inch shorter. And we see the career he had. Obviously, he had Peyton Manning throwing to him, but
it helps.
It helps. But he still got to get open and catch the ball. So I feel like if he can have even half the career that Marvin Harrison had, is a good pick. Well, I say 3/4 because he's the first round pick. He's top 10 pick, so he needs to have a good career. But I feel like he can. With our next pick, it's a little questionable because his injury history, but Landon Dickerson is a beast out there. He's an interior lineman. He can play center or guard, and with Jason Kelsey, last 3 years he's contemplated retirement. So obviously we need to get somebody to be his successor. So I feel like us getting Landon, if he can stay healthy, that is a great pick. So it's kind of like a high risk, high reward pick. And usually you wait till later rounds to do that, but I don't feel like he would have been there another round. So
Mhm.
I like it, depending on if he can stay healthy or not. With the third pick, we pick Milton Williams, who is the undersized D lineman, who is they compared him to Aaron Donald. Obviously, that's high praise. If he can get to that ceiling, I'd love it.
Right.
But he's the same, pretty much the same height, weight, and physical abilities, physical measurements that Aaron Donald was when he came out.
Right.
He ran a 4.63, I think, something like that in the 40, and he has a quick get off. People say he had short arms, and that won't work in the NFL, but Aaron Donald has short arms. So if he can be another Aaron Donald or half of what Aaron Donald is, hey, that's a lovely pick.
Mm-hmm.
With the fourth round, we picked Zach McPherson, and I think we waited a little too long to get a corner, even though I like the picks we picked before, the second and third pick. I feel like we should have got corner earlier, but being the picks we picked were good picks, I feel like Zach McPherson could be one of a sleeper. With the next pick, I love this pick because I've been saying that we need to get another running back beside uh Miles Sanders to like take some carries off, because our current second running back isn't good enough to do it by himself. He's uh I just don't think he's the type of running back that we need. But we got Kenneth Gainwell, who is a beast,
Mm-hmm.
former quarterback when he was in college, and even though they didn't have a season or he opted out this past season, but his 2019 tape was dominant. And if he would have had the same seat or close to the same season that he had the year before this past year, he would have been probably went second round. So to get him in the fourth round or fifth round is a great steal. And being that he didn't play last year, he doesn't have the wear and tear that if he would have played last year. So I love the pick.
Mm.
And then after that, we got a few other picks, like a couple more D linemen. We got a hybrid safety, had a hybrid linebacker. So all in all, I think we had a real good draft.
Okay.
All right. So next we're gonna go to we go to two teams that we go one team that we think had a bad draft. And you can go first.
Well, one team that had a bad draft, had a terrible draft, that I believe was the Raiders.
Yep, but
The Raiders draft was terrible. And they were making fun while the draft was going on. They was making fun of the Raiders on social media for their reaching ability. They said they reached all the time. I don't know how, because they have Mike Mayock as a GM and he works with NFL Network. And
it looked like Mike Mayo get better as an analyst than a
yeah,
GM.
yeah, because some of the picks he be making, the one pick that he made that was good because he slid was Trevon Morick. I don't know how to say his name.
Trevon Moore, yeah,
Yep, but that's
a
a
safety.
yep, the safety. But the reason it's a bad draft is because he drafted two safeties after that.
Mm-hmm.
What will possess you to draft two
But
more safeties after you already drafted one?
I don't know.
Alex Leatherwood was definitely a reach because there were so many more tackles on the board better than him. And number one, Christian Darrisaw. What on film did you see from Christian Darrisaw, well, that you didn't see on Christian Darrisaw's tape that you saw on Alex Leatherwood's tape that would make you want to take Alex Leatherwood before Christian Darrisaw? I understand that everybody might not see these picks, these prospects, as top, or you have them higher on one board than you have on another, but I just don't see where that pick is higher than the next one. I feel like you reached for that. And if you did fall in love with this guy, maybe you should have put him in the second round because I don't believe that he would have been gone by that time. So, like I said, I feel like they reached for that pick. And the other two safeties I was talking about were Devon DeBarlo and Tyree Gillespie.
Yep.
Yeah, these
Devon Diablo.
guys are people I ain't never heard of.
They're good safeties, but
Yeah, but like I said, some of these no-name guys, you can get them in later rounds because not many people are seeking after them. But like I said, the thing that made their draft so bad was them going up to get 3 safeties in the draft. Like, I understand that it may be a position in need, but you don't need to address it 3 times.
and they got two. They have 2 safeties on the roster already. It's not bad.
Mike Mayock, what you doing, bro?
I don't know.
That's cool for me though. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
All right, so mine. That was my second worst. My first worst was the Rams. For me, I think picking Tutu Atwell so early when you got 3 receivers already on your team, when you got other needs that you need, isn't a good choice. Mm-hmm. And they picked, just like the Raiders picking 3 safeties, they picked 3 receivers in this draft. Like,
yeah, I ain't know that.
Right. So they reached for Tutu Atwell, and then in the 4th round they got Jacob Harris from UCF, and then I know it's the 7th round, but they picked a 7th round receiver from Notre Dame. I can't pronounce his last name. Ben, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but just like we said with the last people, the last team, that just don't make sense. And then they got Robert Woods, they got Cooper Kupp. Yep. They just got Deshaun Jackson, even though he's older. They just got Deshaun Jackson. So it just don't make sense. And then to spend that for your first pick, you already didn't have a first round pick. So your first pick in the second round, you pick a receiver and you reach for him. Just don't make no sense to me.
Yeah.
And then they picked 2 linebackers in the same draft. Like, they picked Everett Jones, who was a reach, and then again 7th round, but still they picked another linebacker in the 7th round again. Like, double dipping, it don't make sense. There's only a certain amount of players that can be on the field at one time.
Yep.
So I just feel like that they didn't have a good draft at all.
And some of these people can be drafted as free agents, especially in the 7th round. You don't need to reach something you already got. If you could wait and get these people in free agency,
right?
It just don't make sense.
Not at all. So next, for the last thing, we're gonna pick. Who do you think is the worst pick of the draft? First round through 7th round, whoever you feel. I feel like picking Eric Stokes in the 1st round, I think that was a stretch. That was reach to pick Eric Stokes, especially when the Packers had other needs to pick, like get a receiver, a number 1 receiver.
Right.
Like, I just feel like that was a bad pick by them.
I would say all these teams passing up on Joker were bad picks. but I can't say that.
You can.
Well, yeah, all these people passing up on JLK. I don't care what kind of health issues you think he may have, to let him fall to the second round and that deep into the second round. It's crazy.
Right.
But also, I'm gonna say Alex Leatherwood, because there was a few offensive tackles that they could have took instead of him.
Right. That's why a lot of people picked what was the Darisaw? Christian Darisaw?
Yeah.
They picked the Vikings having an A+ because they got Darisaw so late.
Yep. That's because whoever picked up Leatherwood was the Raiders. They should have picked up Darisaw instead.
Right.
Like when we did our mock draft, I'm pretty sure I mocked Christian Darisaw to go to the Chargers, if I'm not mistaken. And if I
can't remember.
And we would have picked up Alex Leatherwood instead of Christian Darisaw, if Rashawn Slater was already off the board, I would have been highly upset. Highly upset. Because I feel like those were the top 4 tackles. I feel like the top 4 were Penei Sewell and Christian. In my opinion, Penei Sewell was above Rashawn Slater. Then I feel like it went Christian Darisaw, and then it went Elijah Vera Tucker. Yeah. So those 4 were my top tackles.
For mine, I didn't even have Leatherwood in the first round.
Yeah, me either. Most people didn't.
I had
he was in the back half.
Right. I had Darisaw going 28th to the Jets.
Like you said, Tevin Jenkins was better than Alex Leatherwood, in my opinion.
There's a lot of people.
Cosme, yep. Samuel Cosme was better than him. So many people were. But so I think that was a bad pick. But like I said, please keep making them picks. Please keep making them picks.
Right. Like a few years ago, they got the boy out of Clemson, Cleveland Farrell. Even though he's from Richmond, where we're from, I still think picking him 4th overall was not a good pick when they picked it. And then they went back and picked Max Crosby, who actually balled out.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I guess Crosby was insurance, and they needed insurance.
Exactly. Well, shoot, you're supposed to get better insurance, and you got Liberty Mutual. They need to get some Geico.
All right. So now we're gonna pick who's the best pick, the best draft pick in the draft.
Well, mine is going to be Penei Sewell, because when the Bengals picked Jamar Chase and he fell to the Lions, I think that was a great pick. I was hoping that he slid a little bit more to the Chargers, but I'm happy with Rashawn Slater. But I feel like that's the best pick of the draft, is the Lions getting Sewell, especially since they got a new quarterback in Jared Goff. I feel like they needed him to protect him. So that's my pick as the best pick of the draft.
My best pick is, as I talked about earlier in the draft, in the podcast, the Bears going up to get Justin Fields. I think that was a great pick because I don't think he would have lasted till their pick, because somebody would have traded up or something. Yeah. But I think you gotta go with your signal caller. That's the most important position on the team, is your signal caller.
Yeah, I would go 1A, 1B with that one.
Right.
Yep.
It's also when whoever picked, who got Joker? The Browns.
The Browns.
Yeah, the Browns picking Joker. That was a great pick. That was the steal of the draft.
Wonderful pick right there.
Right, because he's definitely a top talent, and he fell that far. So I feel like that is another great pick.
Yeah, he can be stacked. They're gonna be stacked, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
They picked one offensive player in the whole draft. They went solely defense.
So yeah, so we're gonna put a bow on this thing.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for watching. Need y'all to like, subscribe, and turn your post turn your post notifications, so every time we put something up, you can go check that out.
Yeah.
And Follow me at Goal Driven, GOAL_DRIV3N.
Follow me at _AJ Fuller. That's AJFULLER. And just so you know, I'm repping my school, Virginia State University, home of the Trojans.
And it's funny because I'm repping our high school at
Yup.
FC Bird.
You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, we out here.